In ancient Cornwall, a kingdom thrived under King Mark's rule. His loyal knight, Tristan, was renowned for his courage and honor. He embarked on a perilous quest to Ireland to bring back Princess Isolde. She was destined to be King Mark's bride, a political alliance. On the voyage back to Cornwall, a fateful error occurred. A maid mistakenly offered them a powerful love potion. Believing it to be wine, they drank, sealing their destiny. The potion's irreversible power bound their souls in an instant. A love forbidden, yet profound, began to blossom on the high seas. Isolde arrived in Cornwall, marrying King Mark in a grand ceremony. Yet her heart belonged to Tristan, bound by the potion's magic. They met in secret, their love a dangerous, whispered secret. Hidden chambers and secluded groves became their sacred spaces. Their affection grew, entangled with guilt and loyalty to the king. The weight of their secret became unbearable, a constant threat. Suspicion grew, and their forbidden love was eventually discovered. King Mark, heartbroken and betrayed, banished Tristan from Cornwall. Isolde was left in profound despair, her heart shattered. Their separation was a cruel twist of fate, a painful reality. Tristan, wounded and exiled, longed for his beloved Isolde. In King Mark's court, Isolde was consumed by sorrow and yearning. He married another Isolde, out of duty or despair, but his heart remained. Their bond transcended distance, an unbreakable, enduring love. Gravely wounded, Tristan sent for his true love, Isolde. A ship approached, its sail a symbol of hope or despair. Isolde arrived, but it was tragically too late. Their final embrace, a poignant end to a faded romance. Their love, though tragic, became an enduring legend.
All right, so today we're jumping into a love story that's, well, it's so powerful, it defied kings, it crossed entire seas, and it even managed to transcend death itself. We're talking about the ancient Celtic legend of Tristan and Isolde. And let me tell you, this is a tale that has pretty much shaped our whole idea of what romance is for, like, almost 1,000 years. So let's just dive right in with a question that really gets to the core of this whole tragedy. Imagine this. What if the greatest love of your life wasn't a choice you made? What if it was just fate? A destiny completely forced on you because of one simple, irreversible mistake. Kind of puts a different spin on things, right? Okay, so a hero and a princess. Before they became these legendary, star-crossed lovers, they were just two people, you know? A hero and a princess, both totally bound by duty. Let's get to know them a little bit. In their world of, well, tricky political alliances and royal duties, way before fate ever intervened. And what's so interesting here is how this really sets up the conflict perfectly. So you've got Tristan of Cornwall on one side. He's the loyal nephew to King Mark, a celebrated hero, a warrior, a guy totally defined by his duty and honor. Then over here you have Isolde of Ireland. She's this famous healer, a princess, and she's then promised as a bride to that exact same King Mark as part of a political deal. See the problem? Their duties are supposed to bring their kingdoms together, but instead, it puts them on this tragic collision course.
So, the fateful potion. This journey changed everything. The whole scene is set on the open ocean. Tristan has just won Isolde's hand for his uncle in battle. Yeah, awkward. And now his job is to escort her all the way from Ireland to Cornwall. It's during this sea voyage that their two separate lives are about to get tangled up forever. And I mean, magically.
You know, everything that happens next, it all comes down to this one single moment. It's just a simple mistake, really, an innocent act. They were thirsty, but it has these absolutely devastating consequences. It unleashes a passion so deep, so profound, that it's going to challenge everything. Kingdoms, honor, even death itself. It's wild. And here's the real heart of the tragedy. See, this love potion, it was actually made with good intentions. Isolde's mother brooded. She wanted to make sure her daughter would be happy and that this new political alliance would be strong. So she creates this magical draft meant specifically for Isolde and King Mark to drink on their wedding night. The goal? To make them fall eternally in love. A perfect plan, right? Well, yeah, about that perfect plan, they never even make it to the wedding night with the potion. On the journey over, Tristan and Isolde get thirsty. They see this flask and they have no idea what's really inside. They think it's wine, so they drink it. And just like that, in an instant, this magical, all-consuming, and totally forbidden love just explodes into existence. From that moment on, their fate is completely sealed. It's not theirs to control anymore. So, love against the crown, this is where it gets really complicated. When they finally get to Cornwall, it's already too late. The magic's done its work. Isolde has to marry King Mark. That was the deal. But her heart, that belongs completely to Tristan now. Their enchanted love has to go underground, into the shadows. And so begins this incredibly dangerous affair, happening right under the king's very nose. And this quote really says it all, doesn't it? Their love was a crime against the king, but a law unto themselves. I mean, think about it. For everyone else, what they're doing is treason. It's a betrayal of their king, their family, their honor, everything. But for Tristan and Isolde, this love, this magic love, is the only thing that matters. It's like it's a force of nature, and it's the only law they answer to. So how did they pull this off? Well, their dangerous affair involved all sorts of secret meetings and deceptions. I mean, they were constantly having these close calls. They had to come up with these really clever plans to meet in secret, and they almost got caught so many times. There's this one famous story where a suspicious guy at court sprinkles flour on the floor between their beds, hoping to catch their footprints. But Tristan just leaps across the gap. And another time, King Mark actually finds them asleep, but Tristan had put his sword down right between them. It was meant as a symbol, a sign that their connection was more than just physical. Okay, so 2 sails, 1 fate. This is the tragic misunderstanding that changes everything. Because, let's be honest, a dangerous game like that couldn't last forever. Eventually, they're found out, they're discovered, they're shamed, and they're forced apart. Tristan is banished from Cornwall, completely exiled. And this sets the stage for one of the most heartbreaking endings in all of literature. So fast forward a few years. Tristan is far, far away from home, and he gets wounded in a fight with a poisoned weapon. He's dying. And as he's lying there, he knows there's only one person in the entire world who has the skill to heal him, Isolde. So he sends a ship, a messenger, with just one last desperate hope. Please come to me. And here's the crucial part. He sets up a signal, a simple visual signal. He tells his messenger, look, if Isolde is with you on the ship coming back, fly a white sail. That'll be my sign of hope. But if she's not, fly a black sail for despair. Can you believe it? His entire life now literally hangs on the color of a sail. And Tristan, he's too weak to even get up and look for himself. He's just waiting for the news. Then, a ship is spotted on the horizon. This is it, the climax of their entire story, their whole fated love. It all comes down to this one moment. So the big question is, what color is the sail? And here it is, the final, cruelest twist in the whole story. See, during his exile, Tristan had actually gotten married to someone else. But his new wife was just consumed with jealousy. She knew he still loved Isolde. So she's the one who sees the ship first. She sees it coming. And the sail is a brilliant, beautiful white. But when she goes to tell her dying husband, she lies. She tells him the sail is black. When Tristan hears that lie, that's it. His last little spark of hope just goes out. He truly believes Isolde has abandoned him, and he just gives up. He turns his face to the wall and dies from a broken heart. And the most tragic part? Just moments later, Isolde herself rushes in. She made it. She crossed the sea to save him, but she's too late. She finds him dead, and her own heart just breaks. She lies down next to him and dies right there in his arms. So now we have the eternal knot, because, a love that even death could not part, it doesn't just end there. Their story, their personal tragedy, it turns into something more. It becomes this powerful, timeless legend, a symbol of a love so incredibly strong that not even the grave itself could hold it back. And the legend that grew from this is just beautiful. The story goes that King Mark, full of grief, buried them in separate graves on opposite sides of a chapel. But from Tristan's grave, a hazel tree started to grow. It grew up and over the chapel roof, and its branches reached down and rooted themselves right in Isolde's grave. And from her grave, a honeysuckle vine grew up to meet it. The two plants just twisted together, entwined so tightly that they could never, ever be separated. A true eternal knot. Which leaves us with this one big, haunting question, right? A question people have been asking for centuries. Was what they had truly love? I mean, was it a beautiful destiny, the purest connection you can imagine? Or was it a curse? Because think about it, a magic potion stole their free will. It forced their passion. So was it all just a beautiful, tragic curse? It's that dilemma that's inspired so much art and music and literature, and it still makes us ask ourselves, what does it really mean to love?
And let's be honest, one of the most tragic love stories ever told. We're talking about the legend of Tristan and Isolde. It's this incredible tale of honor, betrayal, and a love so intense it just shatters all the rules, and it raises a huge question that people are still debating. And that question is really at the heart of this whole thing. So let me just ask you, is love a choice? Is it something you consciously decide to do, or is it something else entirely? A force of nature, some kind of magic that just happens to you, and you're powerless to stop it. This very idea is the engine that drives the whole story of Tristan and Isolde.
An impossible love. A queen and a knight bound by a secret passion. So at the center of it all, we've got our two main players, and they are in a seriously tough spot. You have Isolde, the Queen of Cornwall. And then there's Tristan, her husband's most loyal, most trusted knight. And these two, they're bound by a secret love that is threatening to bring their whole world crashing down.
And the stakes here, they couldn't be higher. This is so much more than just a simple affair. For Tristan, he's betraying his king, who is also his uncle, a man who loves him like his own son. He's breaking his sacred oath as a knight. And for Isolde, her marriage to King Mark was never about love. It was a political treaty, a deal designed to bring peace.
Now you have to understand, these were not the kind of people who would just throw their duties away. They were honorable. They were loyal. So how in the world did they end up here, trapped in this impossible situation that could literally tear a kingdom apart? To figure that out, we got to go back to how it all started.
The fateful potion. The voyage that sealed their destiny. It all begins, as so many great stories do, on a ship. King Mark sends his nephew, Tristan, on a crucial mission. Go to Ireland and escort his bride-to-be, Isolde, back to Cornwall. This trip was supposed to secure peace, but instead, it sealed their tragic fate. You see, there was a secret passenger on that ship, something nobody knew about. Isolde's mother, wanting to make sure her daughter was happy and that this political marriage would actually stick, had brewed a magical love potion. The plan was simple. Isolde and King Mark drink it on their wedding night, and, boom, they're locked in an eternal, unbreakable love. But of course, things go horribly wrong. During the long voyage, Tristan and Isolde get thirsty. A servant, completely unaware of what's really in the flask, brings them what they think is wine. So they drink it. Together. And just like that, the magic that was meant for a king and his queen instead binds a loyal knight to his future queen. An unstoppable love is born right there on the deck of that ship.
And we're not talking about a slow burn here. No way. The effect was instant. It was overwhelming and absolute. This wasn't just a simple crush. It was a supernatural bond that just completely erased their sense of duty, their honor, their loyalty, everything.
A life in shadows, the curse and blessing of their secret love. So they arrive in Cornwall. The wedding goes on as planned, and Isolde becomes the queen. But now she and Tristan are forced to live a double life, trapped in the shadows, dealing with the consequences of that one single fateful drink. Their entire life becomes this web of secrets. They're having these clandestine meetings in the woods, living with this constant gnawing fear of being discovered. You've got Tristan, who's absolutely tormented, torn between his love for his uncle and this all-consuming passion. And then there's Isolde, trapped. She's a queen to the world, but her heart belongs completely to another man.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Their love isn't a choice. It's both a curse and a blessing. I mean, think about it. It's a blessing because they get to experience this love that's more profound than anything you can imagine, but it is a curse because it forces them to betray everyone and to live in fear. This is a love that owns them, not the other way around.
The King's Heartbreak, Discovery and its Devastating Consequences. Well, in a royal court filled with jealous rivals and whispering gossips, a secret this big was a ticking time bomb. It was never a matter of if they'd be caught, only when. And when that moment came, the consequences were just devastating for everyone. And so, it happens. Some jealous barons, who'd been watching the two of them a little too closely, go to King Mark with their suspicions. He looks into it, and the terrible truth is revealed. The secret life they had built in the shadows comes crashing down into the light for everyone to see. And this is what makes it so incredibly tragic. King Mark's pain isn't just that of a betrayed husband. It's deeper. It's the personal heartbreak of a father figure. He loved and trusted Tristan, his own nephew, more than anyone. This is a double betrayal, and it absolutely shatters him.
Everything just falls apart so fast. It starts with those whispers, which leads to the king's discovery. The judgment is swift and absolute. King Mark banishes Tristan from Cornwall forever. He separates the two lovers, thinking that will end it.
A love without end. Exile, grief, and a love that transcends distance. But here's the thing about a magical, eternal love. It doesn't care about royal decrees or physical distance. This final chapter of their story really proves that even an ocean couldn't break the potion's powerful bond. While he's in exile in Brittany, grieving and lonely, Tristan does something pretty incredible. He marries another woman, a princess named Isolde of the White Hands. Yeah, same name, but he only married her for her name. It was a marriage in name only. He could offer her his company, but he could never, ever give her his heart. Because ultimately, a new life, a new country, even a new wife, it couldn't break the potion's spell. His heart, his soul, his entire being, it all remained completely and eternally with his true love, the first Isolde, all the way across the sea in Cornwall. Which brings us right back to our first question, but now with a pretty serious twist. When you look at all the wreckage, a heartbroken king, a divided court, two lovers destined to be miserable apart, was this truly one of history's greatest romances? Or was it just a magical accident, a curse with devastating side effects that maybe we've mistaken for love all this time? It's definitely something to think about.
One of the most powerful and, honestly, heartbreaking legends ever told. The story of Tristan and Isolde. This is a tale about fated love, impossible choices, and a kind of passion that defies kings, kingdoms, and, yeah, even death itself. And wow, this one line, it really captures the whole thing, doesn't it? We're not just talking about a simple romance here. This is an overwhelming, all-consuming force of nature, and it's this force that's going to drive every single decision and every tragedy that's about to unfold. So how does a story like this even begin? Well, believe it or not, it doesn't start with love. It starts with politics, with a crucial mission designed to bring peace between two kingdoms that have been at war. Okay, so let's meet our main players. First up, you've got King Mark of Cornwall. He's a ruler trying to secure his kingdom's future. Then there's Isolde, an Irish princess who is basically the key to that peace. And finally, we have Tristan. He's King Mark's nephew and his most loyal, honorable knight. Now, you're going to want to remember these relationships because they are about to get incredibly complicated.
So the plan seems simple enough, right? At least on the surface. Tristan's job is to go to Ireland and safely escort his uncle's future queen, Isolde, back to Cornwall. His whole mission is built on duty to his king, duty to his family. It's supposed to be a straightforward mission of honor and loyalty. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, it's during this journey at sea that a single catastrophic mistake happens. And it's this one moment that alters the course of their lives and history forever. This is where fate steps in. And the irony here is just wow. See, this magic was created with the best of intentions. Isolde's mother, just wanting her daughter to be happy, brews up this incredibly powerful love potion. It was only meant for two people, Isolde and her new husband, King Mark. It was supposed to be a guarantee of love, a tool for our political stability. But here's where everything goes sideways. On the long trip back to Cornwall, Tristan and Isolde get thirsty. They find a flask of what they think is just regular wine. A servant, who has no idea what's really inside, serves it to them. They drink. And in that one simple act, the potion that was meant to bind a king and queen unleashes its irreversible magic on the absolute wrong two people. And we're not talking about a gentle affection here. The effect is immediate. It's like a tidal wave of emotion that just completely binds them together. All of a sudden, Tristan's loyalty to his uncle, Isolde's duty to her future husband, none of it matters anymore. Not when compared to this magical, undeniable love they now have for each other. So, what happens when they actually get to Cornwall? They can't just undo it. Now they have to somehow navigate this world of royal duty while hiding a secret that could literally destroy everything and everyone they care about. And get this, the wedding goes ahead as planned. To the rest of the world, Isolde is the beloved Queen of Cornwall, and Tristan is the king's most loyal knight. But it's all a performance. In reality, the marriage is just a facade. Isolde does her duty as queen, but her heart belongs, now and forever, to someone else. And so begins this life of stolen moments, right? They start meeting in secret, hiding in forests, in the shadows of the castle. For them, this love is everything. It's this incredible blessing. But at the same time, it's a terrible curse because they're living under this constant crushing fear of being discovered. I mean, can you even imagine the internal torment? Tristan is a man whose entire life is defined by honor. He genuinely loves his uncle, King Mark, like a father. So this betrayal is just tearing him to shreds inside. And then you have Isolde, who's trapped. She's a queen, she's a wife, but her heart, her entire being, belongs completely and uncontrollably to Tristan. And that's the real question hanging over everything, isn't it? A passion this intense, you just know it can't stay hidden forever. It's really only a matter of time before someone sees the light shining through the cracks. And that time, of course, eventually comes. The fragile world they built in secret finally shatters, leading to the story's most tragic moment, the discovery. You know how royal courts are? Full of whispers and watchful eyes? It's the jealous rival barons, the suspicious courtiers, who finally put two and two together. They go to the king, they tell him what they've seen, and just like that, the secret is out in the open. And King Mark's pain, it's just devastating. He's been betrayed as a husband, sure, but the deeper wound, the real gut punch, is the betrayal by Tristan, his nephew, the boy he raised like a son, the knight he trusted above all others. It's a complete and total heartbreak. The consequences are as swift as they are severe. Once the truth is out, there's no going back. There's only a future filled with separation and sorrow. King Mark's judgment is swift and absolute. Tristan, once the hero of Cornwall, is now in exile. He's banished from the kingdom and from Isolde forever. So Tristan's life in exile is just a shadow of what it once was. He ends up in Brittany, in France, and in this moment of just profound loneliness, he marries another woman, and her name is Isolde. Isolde of the White Hands. He marries her for the name alone, like a desperate attempt to hold on to a piece of what he lost. But it's a loveless marriage, because the potion's magic, it's never been broken. And this right here, this is the ultimate tragedy of their story. No amount of distance, no new marriage, no passage of time can ever break that bond that was forged on the ship. His heart and hers are eternally linked, even when they're worlds apart. Which leaves us with one last, haunting question to think about. Was that potion some kind of cruel, magical curse that forced this love on them? Or did it just act as a catalyst? Did it simply unlock a powerful connection that was already there, one that duty and honor would have otherwise kept buried forever? That's really the central mystery of this timeless, tragic legend.